Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 46. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look back at the last week's platform and tradings, see exactly what has happened in here. Last week I told you about the US presidential elections. This week here we actually see a bit of the aftermath, and the picture here might actually show exactly what is happening within the Forex market, within some of our EAs. Some are managing better than others, but there is clearly a trend forming in here of what has created all of this. We can see there's a lot of other traders are actually experiencing similar things. Ours seems to be still under control. Let's hope so. Let's continue that. But you will see it through this particular news report that last week's results had some impacts on most of the EAs. Now, obviously, this is what it looks like when you have a currency trending in here. So this is the US CAD, has been going up, up, and up. So definitely setting new records again of the trading lengths or the trending lengths of it without any retracement back again to the original price. That's why you will find some heavy drawdowns. We have multiple examples in here through the news report. And I'll obviously update you on what is actually happening in here. And also we're going to have a look at our new portfolio with the Lucky Trader, where you can trade this particular one on a $1,000 account. Now this is actually set up on a new concept. So basically some of the tools that we have in here, also some of the tools that we have actually developed here in recent times, goes into this particular portfolio. And the fact that this is actually doing quite well, as you will see, that has something to do again with this particular Excel that we have set up in order to understand exactly what are the drawdowns. We can basically calculate them for individual currency pairs, both on how many entries and also the lot sizing itself, depending on how much in pips it's all moving. And that way, basically, we can see when we're going to have a major drawdown and also if we can actually cope with this or not. We're also going to have a look at Alex and Expert Forex, a couple of videos in here showing again, obviously, ways of successful trading on the copy link service, things like this, robot settings, similar to what it is that we are doing already. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Please take your favorite beverage, because in the next 20-25 minutes in here, you will get a lot of data, a lot of updates on all the Forex markets. So when it comes to Yieldnodes, we gave you an update here in the recent news report, also explaining exactly what is actually happening. But again, it's very general terms. So there's no concrete dates or deadlines or anything else, and they have blown through the past ones. But if you go and have a look at the Yieldnodes website in here, what we need to see is the audit coin reserves in here, in order just to see if actually things are developing with Yieldnodes, if they left it untouched. And one of the things that we normally look on the parameter in here is the PNY. We can see the masternodes running 227. This was last week, and this week is 229. So obviously 2 extra in here. We also have the SAP, which is again the Rolls Royce of Yieldnodes, or at least it was 3,667. And now it's up to 3,686. So again, very positive development on the Yieldnode side. But that's also pretty much it, because this is actually the SAP coin, and it's now getting very, very low. And again, here is 0.70 and then a 1. And from the red circle, this is where we were last week. And obviously we continue to go down and down. There's no really end in sight of when this is turning around, unless Steve Woods and the rest of the Decenomy team and Yieldnodes team in here is going to try and get something together for us. In the meantime, we are still staking our SAP coins in here. And I mentioned before that this is a very strange way of staking, because normally you would get a bit more of a basically flow in it. So where you will have something every single week or every single day or every single month, depending on what coins you are dealing with in here. Here you'll actually notice that the last time that we had anything was on the 10th of November. So, and then all of a sudden we get 2 in, so of 280 SAP in total. So on the 13th and on the 14th of November, which is obviously great news. And that all of a sudden takes our November value up to 840 overall. So very good development. And for the week, we actually made 1.9%. So definitely positive. In case just these SAP coins ever is going to come positive again, it doesn't really cost us anything to have this staked at the moment. And as you see the coin price, no need of selling anything. For the week here for the PNY, it's actually 0%. Last time we got something in was for the past week. So this was on the 8th of November. So again, November looks very, very low at the moment now that we are in the middle of it. So hopefully we will see something coming through very, very shortly. But something is actually happening with Bitcoin versus USDT. It has reached a new all-time high once again this particular week in here. Managed to just break through the 93,500 mark, and even the week before where we left it at around 82,000. It has gone even higher. Now at the moment it is trading sideways, and as we are shooting this particular video here, it was at 91,999.99 as you can see. So obviously still on the move and very much at the very high end. Trillant news, there's not really much news in here. We didn't expect that either until the end of the month. All we have is from the Top Trillion channel here last time around, saying again from the Tron address for the airdrop, people have been actually informed that if they have a wrong email address in here, some of the teams have been reaching out, so you can basically get that sorted up. And we then hope that at the end of the month, we will have a new platform that we can then go and have a look at. You will also have a wallet where you will have some of the coin address coins in here. And if we have a quick look at the 3 value, you can basically see on the coin store, it's no longer here. So you can no longer find this particular one. So it has been pulled off the market, and then we'll have to see when everything is converted, hopefully by 1st of December, if the deadline holds. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the Trade Explorer. For week 46, the 10 pair one did extremely well with $1,161 or 11.6%. So these are again as part of the drawdown that we had this particular week in here. It actually managed a bit of a drawdown, and then afterwards it cashed in big time. This is the Trade Explorer and the way it operates. You'll see that the $10,000 account we started with is now up to 43,378 with a floating profit loss of minus $25. So it's going extremely well. Plenty of free margins in here, of course. And if we have a look at the total returns, we are now up to 290.6. Monthly returns 7.5, 1.8 for the weekly returns. Don't forget we are not adjusting the lot size, so it would actually be a lot higher if we would have continued to also set up the lot based on how much is actually in the balance at the end of the day. Trade wins is still very high, so we're at 75.3. Good profit factor. And then trades per day, we're around 12. With a history of 553 days in here, it is a very strong EA as long as you be aware of the drawdowns that will come from time to time. Again, the same numbers as you've seen before. These are the currency pairs of the 10 pairs in here that the EA is trading. And if we have a look at this week's results, as I said, 1161, compare that to the recent 4 weeks of 144, 151, 241, and 262. Definitely all this combined made this particular week up. So very, very strong week overall. That's what you get when you have a volatile Forex market with this particular EA. Now, if we go to the Wave Liberator for week 46, the top 5 EAs in here. So the profit is actually down, even though the Euro USD did quite well with $111 or 11.1%, which is obviously quite high just for a weekly profit. Euro CAT, $62 or 6.2%, and Aussie Japanese, $52, 5.2%, with US Swiss francs at $45, 4.5%. Great British Pounds Japanese came in the 5th position with $44 or 4.4%. Total for these 5 accounts, if you would have traded them on the $1,000 accounts in here, $313 or 6.3% for the week, not the month. Don't forget that one. We can go and have a look at the portfolio, and it looks very, very beautiful in here. Very nice and smooth. We started off with the 22 accounts of $10,000 each. 255,000 is the balance up here now. We can see the equity is actually dropped, and this is actually the drawdown we talked about. It has basically gone into pretty much double what we have seen before. We were lying around 6,000, maybe 7,000, and then all of a sudden it's now up to minus 12,000 in here, but closed profits, there's plenty of closed profits still, so that is good. It is very much in positive, and for sure this will turn around. Total return so far 14.9%, and with a monthly return of 1.2, but don't forget these are traded on $10,000 accounts, so if you want to switch over to a $1,000 account, you should expect around 12%. And the weekly return would be about 3, so still very good numbers. We have made a lot of adjustments over the weekend to the Wave Liberator to make it even more safe, secure, and actually lower the drawdowns once again, based on all the new results and also some of the tooling that we showed you in the beginning of the program. Trade wins are 67.5%, which is actually quite good. Trades per day, a bit higher than the Trade Explorer, so that had 12. Here we have 14.4. And with a history of 457 days, it's looking good. And you can obviously go and have a closer look at all these particular EAs on our website. Simply go to the portfolio, then click on the Wave Liberator version in here, scroll down, and you will find all these FX Blue links in here. You will also find that is the links to the copy link service. So all these signals are actually on there. You can go and make money, hopefully, off these ones. If we have a look at the numbers again for the profits in here with the very nice graph, we'll see that the total portfolio made $576. So we are down from last week, 788. And again, this is due to the drawdown that we had in here. But even despite the drawdown, it is actually cashing in quite nicely. If we have a look at the RSI Liberator for week 46, also here, similar to the Wave Liberator, we are a bit down on profit. Great British Pounds, Japanese only made $66 or 6.6%. We have Euro Great British Pounds, $62, 6.2%. Euro USD made $53 or 5.3%. With Aussie Japanese, $49 or 4.9%. And then Euro Swiss francs ending up with $37 or 3.7%. So in total, again, the top 5 in here made $267 or 5.3% for the week, which is obviously quite astonishing, quite good if you are new to looking at our channel, but we used to actually make a lot more profits for the week. So again, due to the drawdowns, it is actually below expectations. If we have a look at the RSI portfolio in here, we can see again the 22 accounts we have. Also a very nice and smooth graph, apart from the IG account issue we had back in August here, where they didn't record it correctly. Balance is 239, and again, equity also here, that has gone up. That also used to be around 6,000-7,000 in here for the profit and loss. Now that has gone up to 13,307. But again, closed profits, we are still good. We are still in the positive side. Plenty of margin in here. Total returns 2.2% at the moment, so obviously have dropped due to the drawdown. Monthly returns is about 1%. It was up 1.1 last week, so you should expect on $1,000 accounts about 10 or 11%. Weekly returns is at 0.3 or 3% for a $1,000 account, with a trade wins of 65.9% in here, so very good. Trades per day even higher, 21.5, and a history of 226 days makes these particular EAs very, very strong. And we have now started to share also the RSI Liberator accounts in here. Again, go to our portfolio and click that one up there, go for the RSI, and then scroll down. You'll find these FX Blue links in here. They will also tell you which ones are the copy link service. When you click on them, you will also get the link itself in there, so you know what to go and look for. The entire portfolio is like the Wave Liberator, also a bit down, 529 compared to 823 the week before. Again, we mentioned the drawdown, obviously a very important factor in this week's profits, which has been lowered a bit, but overall it's actually still doing quite fine. And this is exactly what we talked about. Click on portfolio, Wave Liberator accounts, RSI Liberator in here. And we're going to head over to the PAMM account that is actually run with the Wave Liberator at the moment. And it looks something like this. So very much smooth, but not as smooth as what you have seen on the other ones. And that has something to do with people are actually either adding or retracting money in here. And those are the peaks that you have in here. And things are going the wrong way. That is actually people taking some of their money out to make sure that they get risk-free at some point. And obviously we fully understand that. It has a history of 265 days in here. And look at the profit, extremely low for this particular week here, 414. But again, that is not the full results, because a lot of people, you can see the last little dip we have in here, again, took money out. So for this particular time in here, the profit was 414, but there's been withdrawals of more than 5,300. And again, that means that we most probably, they also took out the profits of around maybe 2,000 or 3,000. Very difficult to calculate because it depends on when people are coming in, when they are going out, and it's all different. So we can only assume that most probably we ended up around the 3,000 mark for the week. We have dialed down this particular Wave Liberator, and we mentioned that a few weeks ago because we did anticipate something similar to what we are actually going through right now. And that also means that when we have a look at the PAMM accounts itself in here, that has actually also gone down from last week. So this is the overall portfolio of 584,000. And this is the profit made. You can see ours down here, 266. So we have a good portion of that PAMM accounts overall. And we also have more than half the gains in here, also gains on top on average. A lot higher. You can see the drawdowns has gone up. Ours is now only half of what it is. So that actually still is good news for us in here. But as you'll notice here now, when you have a look at this week's results versus last week. So last week we were actually, the entire portfolio was at 588. You could see the gains was 28.4 and now it's 28.8. So definitely money is being made, but the drawdown has actually skyrocketed from minus 207,000 up to almost 300. So the drawdown also was overall minus 35% last week. Now it's up to 50. So definitely everybody can feel it. And there's a few accounts in here that we noticed that is in trouble. So you have one here in the equity with 58.6. We have the 60%, and then we have 67. So for the algo trader up here. So again, that is obviously a drawdown of 16,000 in here on an account of about 24,000. So again, scary stuff that is happening right now. And the reason for some of these, well, you might remember a few months ago, we actually had the Swiss francs that was playing up. Before that, it was the Japanese yen. So this is what it looked like at that particular time in here. We had about 716 pips from top to bottom in here with not enough retracement at all. That killed a lot of accounts. And then you'll notice afterwards, all of a sudden things are coming down and the movements are here we have about 400, then it goes down to 200, then we have again 266, 212, and then 174. And obviously it's very difficult to trade within these particular markets in here. So this is what we had a few months ago. And this is actually what we have just again experienced with the Euro USD. It has moved around 708 pips, also not with enough retracement, even though you have a bit here. It was simply not enough to cash it in. And again, obviously, because we are doing both buys and sells, you can see we have been doing some cashing in here and initial full closure also down there. But again, we need to get back to a level where we can cash in all these open trades. We have another one in here, which is the US CAD, also setting a new record. So for the length of the trade or the trending trade in here, 688 pips is what we were standing at over the weekend. So again, not enough retracement at the end of the day to close out the trade. So this is a massive move overall. And that has also led us to what we discussed in the beginning here. We are actually now using this particular Excel where we are having a look at the gap sizing and the gap scaling in here. And then we can basically calculate the individual trades. So that's what you see here. This is the first trade that's being set. And at what level? Now this is all minuses at the end of the day. So if you have a movement in here, when it comes to the 10th grid, which is basically the total gap will be 565, you will see exactly it's at minus 112.9. And at the same time, you can also go in and have a look at the lot, depending on the lot size scaling, what lot size you will have, the total lots that you will have in here. These are all very important parts. And there's a little extra feature in here also because, again, all the different values is different. So in pips, so for the US dollar, for example, you have 1 pip is basically 10 cents. And that is what this particular one is calculating. Other currency pairs has different values. Some are higher, some are lower, and you need to take them into consideration when you are doing all the trading and your setups. And this is actually some of the parts that we have done with the Lucky Trader in here. The one where we just launched a couple of weeks ago. We have these $1,000 accounts. Well, basically they are again $10,000 demo accounts because we can't get our hands on $1,000 accounts. But we are trading them so that you can actually keep within $1,000. So far, things are going quite well. And obviously, we're going to have a closer look at that. For the Lucky Trader for week 46, the top 5 EAs is Great British Pounds USD. Obviously, with the volatility we had here in the market, $115 or 11.5% for the week is quite high. Euro USD, $98, 9.8%. USD Swiss francs, $55, 5.5%. Aussie USD, $53, 5.3%. You notice all of them have USD in here. Great British Pounds, CAT, $51 or 5.1%. So overall, these top 5 made $373 or 7.5% just for the week. So it is doing extremely well at the moment with these particular setups. Now, the Lucky Trader in here, we have 16 accounts, and those particular 16 accounts in here should be 160. You can see with the floating profit and loss, we are in minus, but there's always a bit of a delay in setting these new accounts up in here. But close profits, we are close to 2,000 as it is already. And a lot of these accounts are actually in positive. There's a few that has a drawdown that we have already, again, adjusted in here to make sure that everything runs smoothly. The monthly returns is 2.6 and the weekly returns is 0.6. Again, this is $10,000 accounts. If you want to trade it on $1,000, you can expect an average of 26% per month or 6% per week. So definitely it needs to be dialed down a bit. Look at the trade wins in here, 73.8%. So that is very high. Trades per day is also very high, 55.2. And we only have a history of 15 days. So obviously we need to get some more data as we go along. Now all the lines and the individual days that we have up here since the beginning, you can see that. So that has come in. We had, this was the day after the presidential election, 587, nice and volatile. Since then, things have actually calmed down a bit. And you'll see that roughly doing about 100 or 200 a day. Friday here was a bit of a slow day. And also for the first week, we had 1,272. Now the last week in here, 660. And that's most probably in the range where we're expecting to be, even though also this has an impact on the drawdown itself. So hopefully maybe 700-800 should be the right level. Now we mentioned the trading robot and the bell trader. So this is nothing new, but we wanted to bring it up again in here because this has definitely taught us a thing or few about the movement itself and when we can expect retracements, things like this. And also that's actually how we develop now, also the new Excel that you saw in here, because as we are going through the details here with the trend analyzer, which is a free gift from Expert Forex, we can see the movements in here, but some of the movements has already been completely blown out of the water for this particular week in here, where the biggest trends that was basically marked up in this one has now exceeded by 10-15% already. So definitely be cautious about some of these assessments. Do your own, even go on the graph and try and measure it. And that's exactly also, again, the setup here is a good graphical indication of what is happening. You can see the center line here is the yellow one and goes down to the lower 10 level where it just hit the peak in here. And on the other side, the 10 top levels in here is up there. So it's obviously a bit further away, but that is the band that most of the current foreign currencies are moving in all the time. They will obviously change directions, but only very slowly. And this is basically the band that you need again to measure your pips from top to bottom in here, from the higher 10 to the lower 10, to make sure again that you are covered, that you don't open too many trades overall. But as Alex says, there is quite a few successful Forex strategies. So he's trying to give you a bit of feedback and information on this particular video here, where he's just going in for 10 successful robot and settings. We have already given you 60 or 70 of ours in here. And he's also talking about a couple of mistakes that robot traders make. And funny enough, one of the ones is actually showing a bit of too much profit sometimes, where expectations for the individual robot traders might be 40, 50 or 60% per month. You will also see some high numbers with us, but they're actually sustainable over long periods of time. And obviously, again, you have to be very cautious. You have to dial some of your expectations down to make sure that you don't blow all your accounts. And last but not least, also we have here the link to success service, again, where you can transform your Forex income, as Alex says in here, on some of all the link to success accounts that we mention every single week for all our EAs also. You can join in on our links. And basically the list looks something like this. Again, in here you'll find these 1K links, 164C, 176C. So these are all ours that we have set up. You can see what robots they are normally on. You'll see how many is linked. It doesn't necessarily mean that these are the best ones. You will have to go and check that out for yourself. It says how many days it has been running. It'll tell you also it made 126%. This one made 186. You have 148 has made almost 200% in about 400 days. So these are pretty reliable. You can see they're $1,000 accounts, and it's now at 12,000, 62%. So this is again a good rate. It's the Wave Liberator in here. And again, the amount that has been made. So we have quite a lot of these ones. You have some newer ones, there's 200 days and 87%. So these are the RSI Liberators that we have in here. We have also 240 days, 91%. So there is plenty of options if you want to go into the copy link service. So that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, there's quite a volatile market. Some of the EAs are actually doing better than others. Some have hardly been affected. Other ones have been very much affected in the drawdown period in here. We will have to see exactly where the market is going to go in the next week or two. Hopefully it will reverse, so all the traders can basically come out again with a lower drawdown and hopefully cash in a bit more on the profit side. We will obviously tell you, because we will be here also next week again, where we'll go over all these EAs and try to inform you a bit about the Forex market and where basically we see it going. And as always, you'll see the profit firsthand right here on this channel. So until my next video, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.